Hey, it's just Lyle, and today I'm reviewing Lights Out, directed by David F. Sandberg, based off of the short film he did. So, Lights Out. The idea behind like this whole movie is about this like ghost or spirit that can only appear and can only be seen and only make contact with you and affect you or affect the real world when there's no light. Um, which is really cool. It's super simple of just like flicking the light on, flicking the light off, and like cutting the camera and not cutting the camera and have stuff appear. Super simple, but it works for the most part. Um, I thought this movie was it was fine. It wasn't like the best, but it wasn't. It was definitely not the worst I've ever seen. It was just kind of uh, like it's just a disposable movie. Like you watch it, and you'll enjoy it for the most part. It's not too long. I think it's only an hour and 15 without credits. Uh, And it does get to the point really quick. Like the movie starts up, and within the first 10 minutes, it's already into the fucking. There's a crazy ghost lady, and she's fucking with stuff. So I appreciate that. The main character is the daughter Rebecca, played by Teresa Palmer, who I liked her, and the only thing I've really seen her in was Warm Bodies with Nick Holt, the Romeo and Juliet zombie movie. But I thought she did all right in this movie. I don't think this is the most well written movie. Um, some of the dialogue is a little like not great, but most of the actors do a pretty good job for like what they have to say. Like they all, for the most part, seem believable. And I enjoyed her. Like her character started out as she was kind of a bitch, and I was like, I don't know if I like this chick. Uh, and then the more the movie went, you realize, oh, it's because her fucking mom is nuts and everything's been crazy. So of course she's gonna be fucking a little bit nuts. But I thought she did an alright job. The other characters are her brother Martin, played by Gabriel Bateman. I don't know him from anything. Kid actors, no, I don't like kid actors. He did fine. Um, Better than I expected, especially when most of the time he's reacting to like nothing because fucking ghost lady or shadows. He did fine. Rebecca's boyfriend Brett, played by Alexander Depreza. Alexander Depreza, I think that's how you say it. Um, I fucking love Brett. I thought he was the best character. He seemed first he seemed like kind of a douchebag, and then like he was a douchebag, but he seemed kind of nice. And then the more the movie went, I was like, this guy seems like an all right guy. Like he seems really nice, and he's going to help out, and he clearly cares about her, and he's not some prick. Um, and the more the movie went, like he became more likable, and he was trying to help everybody out. Fucking love Brett. He's my favorite part of this whole thing. Really enjoyed him. And Sophie, played by Maria Bello, like Maria Bello, she did pretty good. I didn't like her for the first like 20 minutes, um, but I think by like the halfway point, it all worked out, and she did fine. But her whole thing is when she was younger, she had depression, so she went to this like mental hospital. Um, and there's a girl there, and some fucked shit happened to her. Her name is Diana, and some horrible stuff happened to her. And people thought she had like powers she could affect your mind. They do this experiment on her where it's like electroshock or something, and she turns into fucking dust or electricity or some shit, which I guess makes sense and explains why she can only be seen in light. Kinda. They don't really explain a lot of that stuff. Like there's a moment where they think that she affected the mom and got into her mind, but they don't ever get into it. And then there's some shit that happens at the end, and you're like, I guess that makes kind of sense, but it kind of came out of nowhere. The whole movie kind of seems like rushed in like the pacing of it. So it's all about this shadow ghost Diana haunting Maria Bello's character and like murdering her husbands and like just fucking with everything, just being a huge ghost crazy bitch. Um, and I liked the design of the shadowy Diana, like gangly ass shadow monster. I thought that was cool. I liked that she was like pure pitch black and her eyes, like They had like a light glow to them. It was really creepy, and I really enjoyed it. It kind of reminded me of like just the way that it was all pure black. The aliens from Attack the Block and how they just were like lacked color or anything. I thought that was cool. I really enjoyed the design of the creature. But it's just like the rest of the movie. I just kind of didn't give a shit about. Like I didn't care about the characters. Like they didn't spend enough time with Rebecca or Martin for me to be like, oh, this sucks. Like I feel really bad for them. Like all this past stuff and really shitty. Must have been really hard. Um, I never really felt that. Like it was basically just a, a series of bad decisions, like most horror movies. And there's a lot of like just stupid shit. There's a lot of people holding a light, pointing it one way while backing up into a room that's just got no fucking lights on. Um, that happens. There's a lot of looking at photos of stuff. A lot of that happening. You expect a movie that's about a creature only appearing when the lights go out. You'd expect way more like jump scares and like cheap scares, but it actually only does it like twice. Like once at the very beginning, there's a jump scare that I was like, ah, this is gonna be just fucking jump scares all over the place. And once near the end where there's a jump scare. But then throughout the middle, it's like they don't do it a lot. Like there's nothing ever just appearing on screen or like popping up to scare the fuck out of you. Which I give them credit because like that's the easy way to do it would be just to have jump scares coming out of nowhere and freaking people out. So I'll give them points for that. I thought the ending was fucking metal. It was metal as fuck. I totally didn't see that coming. Kinda like I kind of saw it coming, but I didn't like I kind of saw it coming, but I didn't expect him to do it. I thought it was shot, shot pretty good. Like there was never a moment where I was watching it and going, "Wow, it doesn't look great." Um, I liked when at one point they get locked in the basement and they've got to use a black light to see, and I thought that would look badass. It looked really cool. I like the black light glow on all the walls. It gave it like the end of the movie, the last 20 minutes don't kind of feel, especially because the rest of the movie is just kind of it's just bland. Diana also had like her like the strengths and the stuff she could do kind of varied. Like within the first 10 minutes, like she kills this dude and just like fucks him up. Like his everything's broken. He's like fuck. It looked like he jumped off a building. He was so fucked up. And then later on, she's like pulling people or just like slapping people and doesn't do anything. And then she's just fucking cutting people's eyes out. They don't explain that. They don't need to, but it was kind of annoying that I was like, ah, what can she actually do? Like, what is the myth of this character? Like, which I think is kind of the downfall of this. Like, you could have like this character Diana, the creepy fucking shadow ghost, terrifying monster, could have been a thing. Like, it could have been a bigger, more important, and it kind of fell flat and wasn't really anything. It was just another ghost. I thought David F. Sandberg, I thought he did a fine job directing it. Like that, like I said earlier, I didn't like, think the writing was great, but I thought the actors actually did all right. And like I do like the concept and the idea. The movie wasn't executed as I wanted it to be, and I felt like the full potential of it. But for like the first time you're directing a feature, I thought it was good. I thought it was fine. So yeah, like I thought he did fine. I know he's like James Wan's like Padawan guy, and I know there was talks that he would if James Wan stepped away from The Conjuring, that Sandberg would come on and do it. And I think he could do a good job. The idea is already there, and he wouldn't be writing The Conjuring. You'd probably get the same guys uh, who wrote the first two to come and do it. And I think he could do that. I think he can handle it if James Wan doesn't want to do it and he wants to step away. He's too busy fucking directing all these other movies he's directing. He's got like 80 of them. Um, so I thought he was fine. The actors, like I said, they're fine. They're all on par with each other. Like nobody outshines anybody else, and nobody brings the movie down. It felt like a long movie for only being really short, which is not a good sign. Um, and it just a lot of it fell flat. Like I didn't really believe in the characters besides my boy Brett. I wanted him to survive, and everybody else. Like near the end, I wanted like I was just like leave the fucking house or light a fire, do something. Fucking throw the candle at this fucking ghost lady. I don't know. Burn her with the black light and shoot her in the face. Just do something. Um, but it wasn't bad to watch. Um, and it was interesting enough. Like the design of the creatures worth it, and uh, just to see like an original idea was cool. I'd probably give Lights Out a 6 out of 10. For a first thing, I didn't hate it. It's got some redeeming factors, um, and there was nothing I can really point out as being like awful. But yeah, check it out. It's worth check it because it's not too long, so you can watch it and it won't take up too much of your time, and you'll probably be entertained. Like I said, it gets points for not being super jump scary and cheap that way. Um, but yeah, it's worth watching. Not the best, not the worst. There's enough that I was kind of nothing I didn't think was great. That a 6 makes sense, even though number score is nothing. It's fucking total bullshit. Um, but at this moment, 6. All right, see ya. Hey, just Lyle here, and if you liked that review, check out some of my other reviews, like my Conjuring 2 review, where the Warrens fight a ghost. Uh, hey, it's just Lyle here, and if you like that review, check out some of my other reviews. Uh, I've done a bunch of movies, and I do Agents of Shield every week, and I'm working on getting a Luke Cage review done probably in the next couple days. But if you like the video, give it a like, subscribe. But all right, I'll see you guys later. Bye.